Okay, so we are back with our 2 days of live coverage at the Morningstar Conference in the Windy City, Chicago. And we're starting off day 2 with a bang. We have Kunal Kapoor, the CEO of Morningstar. Thanks for joining me.
Great to be here, Chuck.
All right, I know you're real busy, so we appreciate you taking some time.
Oh, no, it's fun.
But I was really eager to bring this to our audience.
Yeah.
You did a great job up on stage.
Thank you.
Covering a lot of really important topics. Something that I talk a lot about on goRIA, also at my shop, Sovereign, which is the idea that there's a convergence and a lot of concentration in market leadership. And do you feel that's driving the interest in private markets as a way of diversification?
I certainly think it is part of the discussion, for sure. And I think what you're referring to is if you look at the Morningstar US Market Index, a few stocks are driving returns. And in particular, you have one sector that's driving returns.
Yeah.
What I will say is that rightly is leading to questions about how you diversify a portfolio. But private markets in and of themselves aren't 100% answer, because if you look at our data within PitchBook, the returns in private markets have also been relatively concentrated, especially in private equity, where again, a handful of stocks have delivered, a handful of companies in this case, have delivered the returns. Now what you can start to get though in private markets, and where I think diversification becomes interesting, is perhaps more non-correlated exposure when you're looking at asset classes like real estate.
Yes.
Those are harder to get access to in the public format. Obviously you have REITs, but direct ownership is a little bit trickier in that sense. And so what I'm trying to say is the answer is yes, but do the next level of diligence.
Without question.
Yeah.
And that's perhaps a good segue to some really new exciting innovations you guys have come up with, including your indices for the semi-liquid markets.
Yes.
We'll be talking with Laura Lutton a little bit about that later today, and we had a chance to speak with Sanjay yesterday.
Good.
But do you want to touch on that just a little bit, on what's driving your move into that space?
Yeah, well, I mean, we go where investors are going. And one of the challenges today is you wake up in the morning and you may ask yourself, what did my indexes do yesterday? How did the market do? And you can fire up your computer and you can see what the Morningstar US Market Index did yesterday. Can't quite tell if you own something in the private markets how to judge it.
That's right.
And maybe that's okay, but over time you do want some barometers. And importantly, you also want to be able to compare your private market investments to your public market investments. I mean, there's no such thing as a free lunch, and it shouldn't be the case that just because something is private, it's better or worse than public.
Right.
And so we're working hard at things like indexes, fee comparisons, that'll allow advisors to be able to not only evaluate private investments, but compare them more successfully to public investments as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to prove to be a very useful tool.
I hope so.
And I know for myself as an advisor, right, this is sort of my side gig.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually run a firm and run a book of business, and we are interested in alts.
Yeah.
But getting information, it tends to be known as a very opaque space.
It is.
So to the extent we can get leverage from an organization like Morningstar, I think that's super helpful.
Yeah. And we're kind of in a seminal moment for that, because you reference the indexes, and in some of our indexes, you had a private company, a very large private company, SpaceX, going public for the first time. And it is actually quite interesting to understand how that migration happens. And these indexes are unique in the sense that they're the only ones where you see this migration of a company from private to public ownership and the company staying in the same index.
Yes.
And so it's kind of cool from that perspective.
Yeah. Are you referring to the Unicorn Index?
I'm referring, not only, the Unicorn Index obviously has SpaceX, but also I'm referring to the Morningstar PitchBook 100 public-private index,
Very good. All right, so as we're coming up on time here, and I know you're getting pulled in various different directions, what do you think is coming next for Morningstar? What could we expect perhaps next year or in the future?
Yeah, we're focused on two things right now, AI and helping advisors navigate public-private convergence.
Yeah.
On the first, we're remaking the way advisors access our data, access our software. We know the answers people are looking for when they come to us. We're just going to give them to you. AI makes that a lot easier.
Yeah.
And so we're rebuilding and rethinking how we do everything on that front. And then public-private convergence is really about helping build better portfolios and providing the right tools to do that. So from rethinking how asset allocation is set up, all the way to thinking about how do you deliver a report to a client that feels seamless and doesn't feel like you're looking at two different worlds. That's really important.
That sounds good. Well, I think we're going to put a pin in it right there. Kunal, thanks so much for joining me.
All right, thanks for having me.
This is just segment number 1 of day 2. We have 3 more to go. I'll see you in another hour with some more content. Thanks for joining us. And thanks again. That was great.
Awesome. Thank you.